So what is a presumptive service-connected condition? A presumptive condition is a medical condition that the VA presumes was caused by active duty military service. Since it's presumed, a veteran does not need a nexus statement or a medical opinion to win service connection for that condition. If the veteran gets that condition within the time period specified, and if they were serving in the time period specified, they will automatically be service connected for that condition. They won't have to have a letter from their doctor. So let's talk about what types of presumptive conditions there are. I break presumptive conditions into two categories: exposure presumptives, exposure to a toxin, and 1-year presumptives, conditions that a veteran is diagnosed with or has symptoms of within a year of active duty military service. Let's talk about exposure first. The most common one is Agent Orange. Vietnam veterans were exposed to herbicides. We found out later that these herbicides had long-term health effects: heart disease, diabetes, prostate cancer. If a veteran who was exposed to Agent Orange ever in their lifetime develops one of those conditions, and there's a list of them, those are just a few. If you develop those conditions and you were exposed to Agent Orange, you will automatically be service connected and you will get compensation for that condition. Camp Lejeune military personnel who were exposed to contaminated water during the period of time that they did not know the water was contaminated. If you get digestive cancers or kidney or bladder cancers anytime in your life, the VA presumes that that cancer was caused, or at least as likely as not, was caused by your exposure to that contaminated water. Gulf War veterans. If a Gulf War veteran develops irritable bowel syndrome, if they develop migraine headaches, these are things that a veteran, fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue syndrome, these are conditions that if a Gulf War veteran develops those conditions after serving in the Gulf War, and it's at least 10% disabling, it will be presumed that they were exposed to something during their Gulf War service that caused that condition. So those are exposure-related presumptives. Let's talk about the 1-year presumptives. There are certain chronic conditions that if a veteran develops that condition and is diagnosed within a one year of service separation, or if they develop chronic symptoms of that condition within 1 year of service separation and they are eventually diagnosed, it's presumed that that veteran's condition was caused by active duty military service. These are chronic conditions that don't just happen overnight. If the veteran has symptoms within a year or receives a diagnosis within a year, obviously that condition started on active duty military service. So it makes sense that those 1-year presumptive conditions will be service connected. Examples are arthritis, very good example. There are some cancers that are 1-year presumptives: kidney stones, hypertension, diabetes, stroke, heart disease. These are things that don't happen overnight. So if you have symptoms of that condition or receive a diagnosis for that condition within a year of active duty separation, it is presumed that that condition is a result of your active duty military service. So these are what presumptive service connected conditions are, and a presumptive service connected disability is. If you're a veteran and you want to learn more about that, please watch my other video on Gulf War. If you're a Gulf War veteran, I talk about specifically the presumptive conditions for Gulf War veterans. So look for that video, and I hope this was helpful to you. Thank you.
The information contained in this video is informational and not professional advice. Rely on it at your own risk and see a qualified medical or other professional to discuss individual circumstances.